My name is Clary Frederick, and I currently live in Linden, Michigan. My question is, are Petoskey stones only found in Petoskey, Michigan, or are they found anywhere else?
Have you ever been walking around on a Michigan beach and found a stone with a hexagonal pattern, almost like a honeycomb? That, my friend, is a Petoskey stone, the state stone of Michigan. And for many a Michigander, Petoskey's are way more than just a cool-looking rock. They're a physical reminder of happy memories of Michigan summers past.
We love Petoskey. I've been going up there as a child first camping, and then we brought our children up there camping, who are now full-grown adults. And, of course, when I was a child, loved finding Petoskey stones. And even as an adult, loved to find Petoskey stones.
This is On Hand. I'm April Baer. Today, roll up your pant legs. We're going rockhounding. We'll talk all about how and where to find Petoskey stones and what these unique rocks can tell us about the history of our state. On Hand producer April Van Buren is going to be our guide for this episode. Hello, April.
Hi, April.
So what have you been able to find out for Clary? Can we find Petoskey stones outside of Petoskey?
Well, I'm going to make this real short for you. The answer is yes.
That's it. Episode over.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, this is On Hand, and I'm April.
Okay. Wait. Maybe I'm just kidding. The short answer is that yes, you can find Petoskey stones in places that are not the northern Michigan town of Petoskey. You can find them across the state, actually, and into some of the other Great Lakes states like Indiana and Wisconsin, like this one I found in Lake Huron.
Oh, that's a nice specimen.
Thank you. But even knowing that, I still had a lot of questions about Petoskey stones. Like, where did they come from? How do you find them?
And, why do they look like a honeycomb?
Exactly. So I tracked down someone who could answer those questions for us and who also happens to be an excellent rock hound himself.
There's been days that the next day you definitely know that you were rock hunting the day before. Hours.
You feel it in your back?
You feel it everywhere.
That is Scot Wack. He and his wife, Jennifer, literally wrote the book on finding Petoskey stones and other rocks around the Great Lakes. And that book is called Rockhounding, a beginner's guide to rock hunting around Lake Michigan. Scot and Jennifer are also co-owners of NorthPort Trading Post, which is this super cute family-run gift shop on the Leelanau Peninsula.
How are you guys?
Hi, good.
Come on in.
I'm looking for Scot.
You got it right here.
Okay, hi, I'm April.
April and
Ronia.
Very nice to meet you.
The store is filled with their rockhounding finds, including lots and lots of Petoskey's, obviously. There's jewelry made out of beach finds, coasters, wine toppers, and of course, plenty of cool rocks.
It sounds like Scot and Jennifer don't just love collecting rocks. They've built a whole business out of this.
Yep, and they did it all for love.
I took Scot right out of the city. We met in D.C. area, so I told him we had to get married up here in NorthPort because it was so beautiful and rock hunt.
Said okay, and now here we are 30-some years later, and we own a rock shop.
So where did they find rocks for the shop?
So they find them all over the place, but they do have a few favorite spots around the Leelanau Peninsula. And fellow on-hand producer Ronia Kabinsug and I were lucky enough to catch Scot and Jennifer and their son Alden on their day off during what is a very busy summer tourist season. So they took us out to the beach and we went rockhounding.
We are at Peterson Park. This is about a 250-foot bluff overlooking Lake Michigan. My grandfather actually helped build the original steps coming down to the beach. Wow. So my family's been coming here for a very long time.
It's a lot of fun to really get out on the shoreline and find stones like that. Petoskey's being 360 million years old, you're probably the first person, if you find a Petoskey, to touch that Petoskey in 360 million years.
So how did it go? Was it like a Petoskey palooza?
I am going to be honest, it was a little bit harder than I was expecting. Well, for me at least. Gosh, Jennifer, I don't know how you zeroed in on these. Okay, now I see something interesting happening here, but I don't think it's Petoskey. No. False flag.
Oh, she's going after something.
Okay.
Let's see.
No.
No.
Oh man, I thought I'd found one. I never did quite get my eye trained to pick out a Petoskey stone the way that Jennifer and Scott can, but with a little bit, or maybe quite a bit of help, I did manage to score a few.
All right, we got a test coming up.
Pop quiz.
A little one.
Okay, it's a little one in this general area. All right, April, focus. Ooh, the tiny.
Yes!
Yay! Oh wait, this one's so cute.
Show us.
It's a baby.
All right, so you are not yet an expert Petoskey stone hunter, but did you get some good tips for looking for them?
I did. So Jennifer told me it is so much easier to see a Petoskey stone pattern when it is wet.
For all my life that I have been hunting rocks on the beaches, there's only been one beach that I have found them in the sand, dry.
So looking right at the water's edge is a good technique, or in that shallow water close to shore. And with Petoskey stones in particular, you want to keep your eye out for circle patterns.
Yeah, we're definitely looking for a gray rock. This one is really, really hard to see the circles, but what I like to look for is like a circle pattern. This looks suspicious to me.
Even if they don't look like that classic Petoskey stone honeycomb at first, they might reveal themselves in the polishing process. Like this one we polished up at the shop.
Stone all the way around. I want you to make that texture all the way around, just on that top and around the sides a little bit.
Oh, that came out really nice.
But you can see on the back what it looked like before.
Oh.
It's just kind of a light gray rock with a rough surface is what it looks like to me.
I don't know if I would have pegged that for a Petoskey if I saw it on a beach. But on the other side, the pattern looks so clear and beautiful, all polished up.
Yeah, I definitely did not find this one. This was a Jennifer find. So even if you, like me, have a hard time finding Petoskey stones, rockhounding is also just about picking up things you like the look of.
You don't really have to develop an eye. It's whatever you find cool. You know, if it looks good, it's going in my pocket. Everybody sees it a little bit differently.
And the most important lesson I took away from spending time with the Wacks is that the rocks you find along the beach, they all tell a story. And learning about those stories behind your favorite finds is part of the fun of it all.
And that is what we're going to do right after we take a short break. Stick around as we dig deep into the stories the Petoskey stone has to tell us about Michigan. We'll be right back. Petoskey's aren't just a cool-looking rock. They're also a record of our state's ancient history. To learn more about that, we're going to return now to Scot Wack. Scot, hi, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Can we start with the basics? What is a Petoskey stone?
A Petoskey stone is a 350 million year old fossilized coral. It came from the Devonian time of period, and back in that time, before all the tectonic plates were shifted, we landed a little bit closer to the equator, and Michigan was under a shallow seawater. So they are not freshwater; they're saltwater corals, and they're pretty neat. They're pretty neat. You can still find their cousins or distant cousins down in Florida, but no longer up here. They're all along the beaches.
What gives them that distinctive look?
The shape of the coral itself. If you can think of a coral that you've seen from Florida, it's very similar. Each eye represents a part of that organism that took in microorganisms and fed that way. So if you could think about a coral from Florida, that's what a Petoskey would have looked like back then.
Wow.
Just filled with limestone and sediment and fossilized.
Fossilized. Okay, so you're saying that what we now see as a Petoskey stone was once living creatures?
Absolutely, 100%. When the glaciers pushed across Michigan, they pushed southeast across Michigan, which dropped them from the Grand Traverse strata all the way across Michigan to the southeast. So the further south you go, the less you're going to get. Petoskey and NorthPort happen to be in that line of the full push. It's an amazing, and there's lots of different corals out there as well, not just the Petoskey stone, but you've got chain coral, horn coral, honeycomb coral. favosites, Charlevoix stones, lots of different corals up in the area.
Scott, can you tell us a little bit about the best places to look for them? I mean, I always assumed that Petoskey was my best shot, but is there a range? Is there a range for Petoskey stones?
So the Grand Traverse strata was above us to the north, but lower than Superior. So you're not going to find a lot of fossils up in Superior, but you can find Petoskey's. I've got friends that have horses north of town, and they kick them out of the pasture all the time. They're a lot easier to see wet, so the shoreline is basically where you're going to go. But you can find them on gravel roads. You can find them in rock pits. They're all over the place. Once you get an eye for them, you'll see them a lot more.
Oh, wow. I know you said Lake Superior is not a place to go looking for Petoskey stones, but have you ever heard of anybody finding them in Lake Huron or Lake Erie, maybe?
Absolutely, yeah. There's some really nice ones that come out of Lake Huron. I've even had people come in from Indiana that have pushed it down. Now, granted, that's a little far, and that's probably the exception. They haven't been much further than that. But really, anywhere, if you look at the state of Michigan at the back of your hand, and you go from the upper left to the lower right, that's kind of the line that the glaciers pushed. So the further out from that line, you're going to be less likely to find them.
Scott, I know that your knowledge of fossils goes way beyond the Petoskey stone. What other types of fossils are commonly found along the shores of our lakes?
So my favorite coral is the chain coral. Chain corals, and each coral has a specific look to it. You know, you've got chain corals that have a chain link-like look on the outside of the stone that goes around the stone. You've got Syringopora, which is another type of branch coral. There's horn corals. There's, like I said earlier, chain corals. There's so many different kinds of corals that all came from around that time period. And it really depends on how deep the rabbit hole you want to go with. These are 360 million year old fossils, and you're finding one on the beach. You're the first one to touch it.
Do you mind telling the story about how you got into it?
Sure. So I am from the Washington, D.C. area, Rockville, Germantown area, and I met my now wife down in that area. She said that she wanted to move to NorthPort and collect rocks and get married. I said, okay. And we moved up here, and in 1999, we went to the family's property, and her grandfather had polished stones back in the early 70s. And when he passed in the mid-70s, no one had opened up his little rock shop that he had on the family property. And once we opened that up, we saw work that he had finished, things that he hadn't finished, all his smocks, just all his equipment out there, and a whole lot of Petoskey's. We figured, well, we might as well learn how to use this stuff and have some fun doing it. So we learned how to do it through the TC Rockhounds, held some classes, and we went down and for a long time we did Christmas craft shows and art fairs and farmers markets and stuff. I'm a residential builder. My wife used to be a nurse, and that was kind of our side gig then. And then in 2020, we decided to open up a rock shop, and here we are.
I love the fact that when this started, you were doing it for love.
Oh, it was always for love. I didn't stop doing it for love. I truly love it. It's arts and crafts every day.
That's awesome. Do you feel like the Petoskey stone is sort of a gateway rock for people who are just starting to get curious about what they can find? Absolutely,
100%. Because the Petoskey stone it's a famous stone. You know, it's a famous coral that when you go to Michigan, you think of Petoskey. Once you start with Petoskey, the other amount of different stones that are up here will catch you. The colors, the greens, the reds, the yellows, they will catch you. And absolutely 100%, I do agree with that.
Let's say I found my first Petoskey stone. What should I look for next to expand my Great Lakes collection? Is the chain coral the obvious next step, or is there something a little more common?
If it looks cool, pick it up. So I may go out one day and I may be looking for, let's say I need green rocks. I won't see any green rocks. If I'm looking for it, I'll never find it. When you come across it, you'll know it.
I absolutely love that. That what you said, if it looks cool, pick it up. That was absolutely my dad's advice for being out and around and looking for rocks.
And everybody's going to see something a little different. You know, I can be walking behind some people on the beach, and they'll walk right past something because their eyes aren't trained or they're not able to see. They're looking for something else. I might be looking for something else. So I always look behind people that are walking in front of me because they always miss something.
I have to confess, I guess I've just spent too much time in our national parks. I feel like when I'm out and I see a cool rock, at this point in my life, I'm less likely to pick it up because I'm worried that somehow at some point all the cool rocks will have been picked up by people just like me. Have you found that over time it's getting harder to find the Petoskey stones and the chain corals that dazzled you when you were just starting out?
Not at all. And let me just say something really quick. Just because you brought up a national park, you cannot collect stones from a national park.
Right. So if you're at Sleeping
Bear... Just to
Bear...
make sure that your listeners understand that. Don't pick them up.
Yeah, if you're at Sleeping Bear Dunes...
Yeah, don't pick up those rocks. Don't pick up those rocks. But we get very particular on what we pick up nowadays. We want to make sure that everyone is able to see it, but there is no shortage of rocks. We live on a rock. There will always be rocks here.
That's very good to hear.
Kind of reassuring, huh?
Right, totally. Are there any etiquette rules when it comes to rock hounding?
Yes and no. I mean, it's really personal preference. You know, if I'm walking on the beach and I see somebody that's walking on it and they're ahead of me and I want to pass, I'm not going to jump in right with them and you know, get right on top of them. I'll give them some space so they have some chance to look. There is a public trust around the state of Michigan that you can walk around the whole state of Michigan without being unencumbered, as long as you don't camp in front of someone's house. You can actually go anywhere you want where there's a beach, as long as you don't park your stuff in somebody's house, and always be respectful. I usually end up trying to pick up trash if I see trash. You know, it's just common sense things that we want to preserve for the next group of rockhounds.
Thanks so much to Scot and Jennifer Wack for giving us this crash course in rockhounding. If you're up on the Leelanau Peninsula, you can find the Wacks at their rock shop. It's the NorthPort Trading Post. If you have your own rock hunting story, we want to hear about it. Maybe that white whale rock you've been searching for forever and finally found? Or do you have a funny or meaningful memory about searching for rocks on Great Lakes beaches with someone you love? Maybe you even proposed to your spouse with a Petoskey stone ring. Whatever it is, we want to hear your story. You can email us. The address is onhand@michiganpublic.org. Or go to the On Hand page at michiganpublic.org and just look for the submission form. It's very easy to use. If you have other questions about this Great Lakes state of ours, we're all ears. And that's our episode of On Hand for today. Today's podcast was produced by April Van Buren. Other producers on our show are Mike Blank, Ronia Cabansag, and Michelle Jokish-Polo. Our senior producer is Mercedes Mejia, and the executive producer is Laura Weber-Davis. Music for the pod came from Blue Dot Sessions and Audio Network. Thank you for listening. I'm April Baer. Happy rock hounding! We'll be back in your feeds next week.